Please join our Discord if you're looking for a community to talk about crypto, stocks, and finance in general. We also have a weekly live stream, and if you want to come on and say what you want to say, we will take anybody. Just join the Discord, shoot me a message, and let me know. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Welcome back to Monday. Things are finally starting to move again. Make sure you like and subscribe because we have a few important things to talk about today. I also want to share a new indicator I discovered, and I think it will be useful for identifying the bottom of the bear market when it eventually comes. So let's get into it. Alright, so we are going to go straight to the monthly because what we have been waiting for happened. If you look at the MACD, November has finally closed and it is 100% confirmed. I think we are in a bear market and the monthly MACD is down quite a bit already in December. You can see there's a large negative bar, and I just want to remind you guys what this means. The reason why this is so much more intense than the November one is because the histogram, or these bars, measure the distance between the MACD line, which is this blue line, and the signal line, which is this orange line. So large negative bars like this in December means that the MACD line, the blue line, is pulling away quite quickly compared to this signal line, and you can see it's getting away pretty quickly. This confirms a strong accelerated bearish move, especially over this month, and I think this month, December as well, November and December. And because of that, I am 100% convinced we are in a bear market at this point. I'm not really worried about short-term movements. I'm more focused on where I should start accumulating. And I know a lot of people have been talking about how the MACD isn't a good indicator, especially on higher time frames. And I understand what they're saying, because they keep saying the MACD is delayed and it's useless, you can't even use it, but it's just not true. I mean, the MACD got us out of here at a pretty good price. So the MACD uses averages, and averages use old prices, and because of that, the MACD will always lag. It can only confirm a trend once the move has already happened. So yeah, if you buy or sell strictly on these crosses, then you will miss a good chunk of selling at the top and buying at the bottom. So you don't want to look at this at face value. Doesn't mean it's useless. You could still use it for long-term trend confirmation, identifying momentum shifts, and spotting when the market is accelerating into a downward or upward trend like it is right now. For example, I said in my video about a week ago, there was no way I was holding my Bitcoin until this cross. Like, I was going to get out before this cross because it was inevitable that it was going to cross. And that's why I used different indicators, different things on the chart that was telling me this was coming. And I wasn't fully relying on the MACD. So if you fully rely on the MACD and buy and sell at these crosses, okay, maybe it's delayed, maybe the MACD isn't a good indicator, but I think you can still use it correctly. And it could help you extremely for getting out and getting in tops and bottoms, especially during these big cycles on the monthly. Now, this is how I use the MACD. I don't know if people use it this way, but this is how I kind of get around it. So if you look at the MACD at face value and you sell when it gets a bearish cross and you buy when it gets a bullish cross, then you're going to get crushed, right? You're going to miss out on a lot of opportunity. If we look here at this initial cross, you already missed out on approximately I'd say about almost a 97% gain. So with this knowledge, we know we don't want to buy and sell at these crosses. We want to buy and sell before these happen. So we want to look at this. When we see a candle like this, like a dying bearish momentum candle on the monthly, then we could say, okay, whoa, this is when we should be buying because most likely this is the bottom. And I would say you should be buying once you see these big red candles. If you see continuously boom, 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 it can't keep going down forever realistically, and you have to make a decision. You could either buy before anticipation of this light red candle, or you could actually start buying at the light red candle. Now, if you bought at the light red candle, you would get in near or close to the bottom, right? And you would not miss out on that 100% gain. And even better, you could start DCAing once we get a huge flush, and then you see a big red candle, and then slowly it starts to get smaller and smaller. Like you can clearly see here, the momentum is dying slowly and slowly. Like it's not these huge gaps anymore. It's kind of really close to each other. So that's telling you that momentum in volume is going down, and it's probably a good time to buy. Now, since I kept hearing people complain about the MACD and how it's lagging, I did research and I found an indicator called the zero lag MACD indicator. Now, at first glance, it doesn't look too accurate. Let me make it big a little bit. So there's a couple things I want to talk about. If we look here and compare to Bitcoin's price, it clearly was not right as a buy and sell signal, especially here, because it told us to sell and then Bitcoin pumped. It told us to buy and then Bitcoin dumped. It told us to sell and then Bitcoin pumped 3 times. So it was incorrect 3 times. But there was one time where it was actually correct. And if you look at the MACD itself, it kind of lines up with the perfect like bearish momentum is in a decline, and we're getting very close to a bottom. So if you listen to this and started buying here instead of buying at a cross, obviously you would have been way better off. Luckily for us, like I said, we want to be looking out for this to buy, not for a cross, because that would be delayed and lagged. But this was interesting. Under the right conditions, I would use this as a buy signal only if we had a deep extended downtrend and then we got a green dot. So for example, if this kind of looked like this, it went down like this, right? And then we finally just kind of move up and we get a cross, and it fires off a green dot, then, okay, I'll be like, okay, this looks like 2022, very interesting. We will line this up with the MACD. Do we have a bearish momentum candle right here? Yes, okay. The bottom is most likely in. So I would not rely on this as a sell signal, but I will use it as a buy signal when the conditions are right and we are in an extended deep downtrend. This could be very useful. So for now, I'm going to keep this indicator on rotation. We'll check back on it every once in a while, but that is pretty much it. To be honest, I think I can do what this does purely with the MACD alone, but I will keep it in our arsenal of charts and indicators. Okay, now I want to take a look at the weekly cycle low, because I do think that we are going to have a failed cycle here. If we look here, if this does have a failed cycle, that would confirm the bear market in a shift into an overall downtrend and a switch in trend to the bearish side. And once this happens, cycle traders have to flip. Some people are hoping for higher lows and we continue upwards, but realistically, I think we're done here. You can clearly see momentum on the MACD. If we pull up the MACD on the daily, is just it's not good. Like, momentum is already dying on the daily MACD. There's no strength. Bitcoin looks weak. There's no volume. There's no buyers. I hate being the bearer of bad news, and I hate being a bear, but I can't lie. I can't lie about what I see on the charts, and it just doesn't look good. And I do think this is going to fail. We will wait and see as always, but I do think this is going to be a failed cycle. And then 100%, I'm already 100% confirmed, but 110% on the cycle side of things, then yes, we are in a bear market, and we will be heading to eventually lower lows and then a bottom. So I just want to look at USDT dominance real quick. It's breaking out. You could look on the daily. It has a dying red momentum candle, which means it's bullish. This is going to flip soon. It's already up a lot, and this is already broken out, and this bounce off support just tells me that it's going to continue breaking out till at least the 2022 bear market low levels, so around 9.47%. And if you look at the monthly MACD, it is looking pretty bullish. You could see 3 green strong momentum candles on the monthly MACD, and I don't think this is going to stop anytime soon. And there's one thing I want to look at, MSTR, because holy moly, this is going down way quicker than I thought it was. I really thought we were going to have more time. I do still think this is going to chop around, but whoa, this is falling fast. And if this goes to 120, which was my bear market low, this quickly, that's really got to make me rethink what's going to happen this cycle, because this is just a 2022 fractal, and obviously it's not going to follow this exactly, but I am hoping for more upside in chop before we get down to these levels. If everything is falling so quickly, I really hope that the bear market doesn't get accelerated unnaturally, because Bitcoin really didn't have this massive blow off top, so the bear market's not going to be the same as 2022. I'd rather see Bitcoin chop for months before falling deeper, but at this current speed, the cycle is looking a little different in regards to the bear market. So we have to kind of just adapt day to day. Of course, this is not going to be the same. Like I said, it's going to be different. And if this goes to 120 this quickly, that means MSDR could be going much lower much sooner. So we'll see what happens. On the weekly, it does have a lesser red momentum candle, but in all honesty, I don't know if that's gonna last, because I think this is gonna keep falling. The monthly MACD is still extremely bearish, and yeah, we're gonna keep an eye on this, and we might have to rethink our 120 buy, because this looks like it could be going a lot lower. Day to day, we will adapt as the chart moves. We'll keep uploading every day, every week, and that's pretty much everything I have to report today. So I will see you on the next one. Please like, subscribe, join the Discord. I'm live 5 p.m. every Sunday. See you later.